Okay, let's be real. If you're managing a SaaS business, you are probably drowning in data. But does it ever feel like you're trying to steer a jumbo jet with a blindfold on, just hoping you're pointed in the right direction? We're going to fix that, because what you need isn't more data. You need a dashboard.
And this is the big mindset shift you've got to make. Stop thinking of your metrics as a report card, telling you how you did last month. That's history. Instead, think of them as your cockpit's early warning system, blinking lights and alarms that tell you what's about to happen so you have time to actually pull up before you hit the mountain.
So let's build that dashboard, piece by piece. In this explainer, we're going to take that fire hose of data and turn it into a clean, simple set of gauges that give you clarity, confidence, and most importantly, a clear direction to fly.
And why is this so critical? Well, because when you have the right dashboard, you stop guessing. You know exactly what your engineers should be building next. You know when to push the throttle for growth and when to ease up for stability. And, maybe best of all, you can walk into a meeting with leadership and tell them exactly what's going on with total clarity.
All right, first things first. Let's look at the most important gauges on the whole dashboard. The big ones right in the middle, your speedometer and your RPM gauge. These tell you about the raw power of your revenue engine.
And at the heart of that is monthly recurring revenue, or MRR. This isn't just some number on a spreadsheet. It's the very pulse of your business. It's that predictable, reliable income you know is coming in every single month from your customers. It tells you if you're accelerating, if you're stalling out, or God forbid, if you're going backwards. But just looking at that one big MRR number doesn't really tell you what's going on under the hood. To really get it, you have to break it down into these four forces that are always pushing and pulling on it. You've got new MRR from new customers, great. Expansion MRR from your current customers paying you more, even better. But then you also have contraction MRR from downgrades and churned MRR from customers who leave altogether. Understanding this mix is absolutely everything.
And that leads us to the real secret here. While new logos are exciting, the true sign of a healthy, valuable product is growing that expansion MRR. Think about it. It means your existing customers find your product so valuable, they're choosing to spend more money on it. That is the ultimate vote of confidence.
Now, you're also going to hear the term ARR, or annual recurring revenue. The way to think about this is simple. It's all about perspective. As a manager, you live and die by MRR. It's operational, it's tactical, it's about this month's momentum. ARR, that's the big picture number your board and investors care about. It shows scale, the year-over-year story.
Okay, so we've got our speedometer. We know how fast we're going. Now it's time to glance over at the fuel gauge. How efficiently are we actually bringing in the customers that power this whole engine?
And that brings us to the customer acquisition cost, or CAC. This is, put simply, how much it costs you, in total, to get one new paying customer in the door. And I mean total. Sales salaries, marketing spend, ads, tools, the whole shebang. And tracking your CAC forces you to answer the most terrifying and important question there is. Is our growth engine actually efficient? Or are we just, lighting giant piles of cash on fire to get customers who aren't even going to stick around? Your CAC tells you the truth.
Look, getting new customers is fantastic, but it's only half the story. A Ferrari with a hole in the gas tank isn't going to get you very far, right? So now we need to look at the dashboard's warning lights, the metrics that scream at you when you're leaking customers and revenue.
Now, we all talk about churn, but there are actually two kinds, and you have to know the difference. Customer churn is the percentage of customers, or logos, that you lose. But revenue churn is the percentage of revenue you lose. For a B2B business, this is critical. Losing 10 tiny customers might be a blip, but losing one huge enterprise customer, that could be a catastrophe. Revenue churn tells you if your best customers are heading for the exit.
So, with that in mind, let me introduce you to what might be the single most powerful, most elegant metric on this entire dashboard: net revenue retention, or NRR. This one number magically combines the good stuff, your expansion revenue, with the bad stuff, your churn and your downgrades, to give you one clean signal of customer health.
So what's a good number look like? Well, the absolute best-in-class, top-tier SaaS companies are hitting NRR numbers in this range. Yeah, that's right, over 100%. Just let that sink in for a second. What does that even mean?
It means that even if you shut down your entire sales and marketing team and didn't sign up a single new customer all year, your business would still grow. The extra revenue from your existing happy customers more than made up for all the revenue you lost from the ones who left. This is it. This is the holy grail of SaaS. It's a business that grows from the inside out.
Okay, we've checked our speed, we've checked our fuel efficiency, we've plugged the leaks. Now it's time to put it all together and run the ultimate system check. At the end of the day, do we actually have a viable, sustainable business here?
The answer comes down to the relationship between these two numbers. On one side, you have lifetime value, or LTV. That's all the money you expect to ever make from a single customer. And on the other side, you have the CAC, what you paid just to get them.
For a healthy SaaS business, there's a magic ratio here. The goal, the number that investors and smart operators are always looking for, is for a customer's lifetime value to be at least 3 times what you paid to acquire them. 3 to 1. That's the fundamental law of a sustainable business model.
So let's break that down. If your ratio is below 2, you're in the danger zone. You're paying too much for customers who aren't worth enough. If you're in that 3 to 5 range, you're in the sweet spot. That's a healthy, scalable engine. And here's the funny part. If you're way up above 5, that could actually be a bad sign. It might mean you're not investing aggressively enough in growth and you're leaving money on the table.
Now, the other piece of the puzzle here is speed. How long does it take to make back the money you spent to get a customer in the first place? This is your CAC payback period, and the target is pretty clear, under 12 months. Why? Because the faster you get that cash back, the faster you can pour it right back into sales and marketing to get the next customer. It's the flywheel that fuels hypergrowth.
So, there you have it. You've diagnosed your engine, you've checked your fuel tank, you've confirmed the whole system is viable. So, now what? Now you use this beautiful dashboard to create your flight plan.
And that flight plan includes a few final checks. You need to look at stickiness. Are people using your product every day or just once a month? That's a huge difference. You need to check feature adoption. Are those new things you're building actually being used and helping keep customers around? And finally, the most important dial of all, runway. How many months of cash do you have in the bank? Because that number dictates every single decision you make.
And that brings us right back to you. Your dashboard is lit up. There are green lights, yellow lights, probably a few flashing red ones. So the only question left is, which warning signal are you going to act on first? Because having the dashboard is just the start. The real work is deciding where to steer.